Welcome to the Light Cellar Podcast, brought to you by Light Cellar, a place where you can learn to find and craft your own food and medicine. In this interview series, you will meet a range of characters in the health and wellness space that are bringing light to your everyday. You'll hear from a number of different experts on a wide variety of topics. We have several different series within the podcast, including our Wild Wisdom and Storytelling with Blaine Andrusic, the Rays of Light, inspiring wellness in the community, plus solo casts, Q&As, and other topics for you to enjoy. You can find this as a video version as well as the audio on any of your favorite platforms. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share this with somebody you know who will benefit. You can also shop online at lightcellar.ca. Hello. Welcome. Another episode of Herbal Highlights with Angela Bewick.
And Malcolm Saunders.
Yeah. How's your week going? We're having fun, hey?
We are. The weather has taken a turn, which is both awesome, but when you are into cross-country skiing, or in your case, snowboarding.
Yeah. Where's the snow?
It's cool. Like, this is great and everything, but then can we have some snow?
Need to keep it cool.
Zero's like perfect. -1.
Do you have
sunshine?
Wax skis or non-wax?
Apparently they're like whatever you want. So they're non-wax, but you can wax them.
Okay. Because I've heard, I only have wax skis, and I've heard that like that 0 in that range plus 4 to -4, like non-wax skis are the best.
These ones are non-waxy.
Yeah.
At the moment.
But
I went out yesterday and it was kind of like slick.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. We're happy to have sun and variety in our temperatures.
Yeah.
It promotes adaptability and flexibility in one's constitution.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at least in Alberta, the sun is almost always shining.
Almost always shining.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially in Calgary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
speaking of sunshine.
Wow, what a transition.
Wow. We have so many herbs today, we couldn't necessarily pick just one.
Yeah.
So there's a few herbal highlights.
Yeah. Okay, and this one came out of, I did a quick little chat with Alex about it, but I wanted to go into it a little bit deeper.
Alex is a chef here at
that's right. So
the Light Cellar.
Started a kind of weekly series with him, what's coming out of the kitchen, and, that'll be chocolate, that'll be elixirs, that'll be things like that. But he did do a little herbal preparation for us here called Inner Sunshine. And some of the key herbs that he put together are great, amazing, fascinating, and it's really, really delicious too.
It is very delicious. Yeah.
So this is a syrup. So it's got tinctures in it, it's got teas in it, and it's got herbal honeys in it. But the main herbal components are saffron, St. John's wort, mucuna, and a little bit of salt.
A little bit of sea salt for some electrolyte balance and to help absorption as well.
Yeah, but the main kind of like flavor, I suppose both St. John's wort and saffron have that color. Absolutely beautiful, nice, sunshine.
It's like a
golden, right?
Yeah, it's very, very beautiful.
Yeah.
If anyone's ever had, for the people who are just listening and not watching, if anyone's ever had saffron rice, that beautiful taste, that color, that smell, that's what I pick up in this, especially is that saffron.
Yeah.
And actually part of me wants to put this in a rice, like rice, to see what it would taste like.
Yeah, so full on saffron for sure.
Yeah.
In flavor and effect. And it's those carotenoids.
Yeah, that's that beautiful, anytime you see something that color.
Yeah.
It's the vitamin A family.
So they have identified 150 different compounds in saffron, some of them specifically related to the color, zeaxanthine, carotenoids. There's some that are specific to saffron.
And it has the Latin name. Tell me what the Latin name.
Crocus sativus.
Isn't that amazing? We have prairie crocus, different.
Yeah, it's actually a different herb.
Yeah.
Different properties.
Same word.
Yeah, but similar, and like those little, colorful
Same type
stamens.
of,
Yeah.
I guess it's not a petal, it's the stamen.
Yeah.
Yes.
So a lot of studies about how it's actually used for depression. Performs better than placebo. I would hope so.
In mild to moderate, they said.
Right.
Yes, they say.
And that is even just as good as a couple of pharmaceuticals they tested against. And no side effects.
No side effects. There is St. John's wort in this particular formula, and we always want to be mindful with St. John's wort and antidepressants. So if you are on antidepressants, this is something you would want to consult with a pharmacist or someone who's qualified around that. But for those people who tend to get just like a little bit of sadness, a seasonal affective disorder, or feeling a little glum in the winter, this is an excellent, excellent product for that.
Totally. And I would say Mucuna is another one that may be contraindications if you're on levodopa or anything to try to boost dopamine, because it's going to boost it too. It has that precursor to dopamine. So it's always just about kind of balancing those levels. If you're on medication and you're at a certain level and you bring something else in that's also trying to do that, as you mentioned with the St. John's wort, Mucuna would be another contraindication, as well as breastfeeding mothers. Mucuna is not the best.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to ruin your day, but large amounts of it long term while breastfeeding, it inhibits prolactin, so it can definitely affect milk production.
So maybe good if someone is starting to wean from
Right.
breastfeeding, but not maybe if you're right in the beginners and
trying
the
to keep
baby's really
production
counting
high.
on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But working with, anytime, of course, there's pharmaceuticals, working with a master herbalist or a very wise pharmacist. There are a lot of compounding pharmacists out there who are a bit more holistic in their approach, and you can find them and get them to help you. But this, for the average person who is just like looking for a little bit of brighten your day, bring up the mood.
Yeah, you mentioned one of the staff's drunk half a bottle already. Not that he's a depressive person, but
he is so happy, and it might well be because of this inner sunshine.
Yeah, that's right. You don't have to be depressed to take this, right?
You can take it. It's
a
like
mood
just
elevator.
me. I'm like generally most of the time always happy.
Yeah.
But even just the 3 sips that I've had of this today, I'm like,
it's a spark. It's
nice.
a radiance.
Yeah. St. John's wort is amazing for so many things.
Yeah.
Like topically, internally, it's a fantastic herb. So.
Have you wild harvested it yourself?
I have not.
Oh, yeah.
Perhaps something we could do on a...
Totally.
Where does it grow best?
I've seen it in BC. Yeah,
Okay.
so it's like one of those ones, like, no St. John's wort, work with it, but sometimes it takes a while to here it is in the wild. Now I'm going to start harvesting, working with it. So it was last year that I was really kind of getting my John's wort on.
Nice. Okay, maybe that could be a foraging forecast.
Yeah, totally.
Feature.
Yeah.
Do you like how I did the alliteration for you, Malcolm? There's also, it's great topical. It's something I'd like to work with in the future, making a salve with it, because the color of it is very beautiful. It's very similar to saffron in that kind of red, orangey pigments. It makes a beautiful oil when you macerate the flower, herb, whatever, in the oil.
Yeah.
And it would be it's a great pain reliever. It's a wonderful, wonderful herb.
Yeah. Okay, so before we move on from this, my herb word of the week is sativa. And it was triggered by Crocus sativus, which is just a variation on sativa. And, most people are going to associate sativa with sativa versus indica in the realm
cannabis.
of... Yeah, and it was so funny, like, even the definition of sativa, and it's like a strain of cannabis. It's it is, but no, wait a minute. Like
etymology, that's what we needed to research, the etymology of it.
Yeah, but...
Which is...
Well, yeah. So the term sativa it's a Latin term and often associated with many, many, many different herbs, not just cannabis sativa. So the sativa means cultivated. I had in my mind like good herb, but cultivated, which would be a good herb. Like, why would you cultivate it?
Those would be the ones you want to cultivate.
Yeah.
The herbs that are like...
So if we think of oats, Avena sativa, the saffron, Crocus sativus, cannabis sativa, there's all those different variations, but to be cultivated.
We could call ourselves sativas, perhaps, as cultivated humans.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a wonderful...
High culture.
Very high culture, especially here. Yeah, so this is a great little product to bring in the winter, and anytime you feel like you need a little mood boost.
All right, and your herb word?
Mine was trophorestorative, which is a herb word that means, tropho generally means tissue, and like the tissues of the body, and they are restored. So it's similar to the amphoteric, the word that we talked about once in our previous talks, and it was about restoring the body to its sort of balance, helping to maintain homeostasis. And this, I thought of this because I was thinking about how our bodies are so, I mean, this is something that probably most of you have thought about, but how our bodies are so designed to heal and to maintain balance. And we may find that there's something that's out of balance in us. Perhaps we do some testing and we see, some nutrient levels are off, or our microbiome levels are off, or hormone balance is off. And we may start to kind of panic a little bit and think, oh no, there's something wrong with me. How am I ever going to, now I'm going to get Alzheimer's. This is what happened to me. I'm like, cortisol is high, my sugar's out of whack. That's it. I'm getting Alzheimer's. My grandma had Alzheimer's. But there are so many ways that we can restore that balance. And the main way, obviously, herbs are so helpful, nutrition is so helpful, but learning to manage our perceived stress, I think, is a really important way to kind of mitigate some of that panic, because it's the irony of stress and worry is that it tends to make everything worse. It can throw all of our hormones off balance, and it can make our perception of things very skewed, and then we have biases, and then that's all we see, and all of those things. So finding ways to sort of restore the tissues. And herbs are one of the best ways to do that, in my opinion.
Cool. And is there any particular herb that you associate as a great tropho restorative?
Well, I think St. John's wort.
Yeah,
St. John's wort. A lovely one for the nervous system, the whole neurological system. It also just has those profound inflammation balancing effects, which helps all of our systems as well. So that was the one that I think really...
That's awesome. Cool. So there's something to put in your search bar. Tropho restorative herbs. And see what kind of list comes up for you. Yeah, right on. Okay, the other herb we're going to talk about, we've touched upon this before, and this was when we were in the making process, and it's now complete, it's finished, it's been on the shelf just a couple of weeks now. California poppy. And the reason I wanted to bring this up, because we had a little shop staff meeting, and we were kind of like going around the circle, like, what herb are you really into? And Brittany and Sean, they both mentioned California poppy. Super into it. And when they first tried it, not really sure what to expect, but instantly felt it. It's definitely a nervine. It's very relaxing, and they almost described like this like jelly arm kind of a feeling. And just chilling for sure. And actually, what was Brittany's word, the Scottish word?
Herkle-durkle?
The herkle-durkle. Apparently it's this...
Herkle-durkle is when you want to just like sit on the couch and you just like don't
relax.
Do anything.
It's almost like you need to, but you're not going to.
Exactly.
Herkle-durkle.
Yeah.
So she's like, well, this is a great herkle herb.
This will really get you herkling and durkling, my friends. For sure.
So Sean did mention that. He's like, it's not something I would take in the morning, if I got to be like up and on it.
It has sedative properties.
Yeah.
Now with herbs, typically they run through you fairly quickly. But there are, this would be a great herb to take if you felt, I suppose it would be an anxiolytic, which I think was a word we talked about once before. So just calming to the nervous system. But maybe something to take around dinner time.
Right.
So that you have time to kind of get it in you. You can go to sleep. You can rest really beautifully. And then by the time you wake up, it should have run its course.
Right. And it's pain relieving. So,
Yes.
you mentioned the comment the other day.
Well, it's poppy, right? So it has those like opioid-like effects.
You mentioned the last time we chatted about, which I thought was a very interesting comment, like any kind of dental something, like give me the lower dose, right? Just to kind of improve your pain tolerance, have less of that in your system.
Yeah.
So that would be a great herb for that. And especially if you have like surgery or something.
That tastes really good.
Isn't it?
Shout out to the California poppy.
Yeah. So, extend that pain relieving property if you need it. Also puts you in that restful state so your body can do healing. So much healing happens when you sleep.
Yes.
And so I can see that as a
beautiful, beautiful herb. And I will say, not to be like, making it so urgent that you get it if you're interested, but
Scarcity
it is
mentality.
limited. Yeah. It is a limited edition because it was a seasonal item. We came into some really amazing
garden grown
poppy,
fresh poppy. Did the flowers, did the leaves, and then next year I'm actually going to do the roots as well.
Yeah. But we have to plant more.
Yeah, we got to plant more.
Because if you're using the roots of something, of course you are killing that plant. So you need to make sure you prepare your cultivation appropriately.
Yeah. But limited supply, did so many, turned out awesome.
Yeah,
and
we'll do it again for sure.
But when it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah.
Which is, it's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing. Because we really need
Isn't that how life works too?
That is exactly how life works. And also, and as you and I come from nutrition, and its variety is the spice of life. So switching things up seasonally, eating with the seasons, using your herbs with the seasons is, I think, very appropriate way to approach things. So you're not overwhelmed and you're not like, I need this thing all the time. I need to make it every day. So I think we've got built-in variety here at the shop.
And the other thing I would do with this is like I would get a bottle and put it in, the medicine cabinet or first aid or whatever, just kind of like have on hand. You never know when that's like, I need this now.
Yeah.
And you got it versus like, okay, where can I go find, it's not too common of a herb, I would say.
Nope. It's not very common.
It's common once you recognize it, you see it growing around.
Yeah,
in
and
gardens.
we can grow it. So if it's something that you are interested in, you can make your own medicine. You can come to medicine making classes here and grow your own poppy and see what happens.
Yeah, and unlike the big opium poppies, your neighbors might be looking at you going, what are you growing? Not that I've had that happen before.
Oh, yeah?
Neighbors question you. Or my mom had just moved into a new neighborhood, and I literally had a giant bag of poppy seeds, and I just I wasn't thinking. I just scattered them in her front yard. Like, oh, you're going to love this. All these poppies, you're going to pop right up. And then, she got quite nervous because of, what would the neighbors think, right?
Did it grow up? Did they grow?
Oh,
Did it work?
100%.
Really?
Yeah.
Just
grew
by
up.
throwing poppy seeds out.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
I guess it makes sense.
Yeah. And then if you get into those specific, like the opium poppy varieties, like the heads are like not as big as a baseball, as big as a tennis ball. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
I was just thinking, I don't know if this is something that is relevant, but if you are an athlete, you have to get drug tested. I don't know. I don't know how this works with that. So just fair warning for you. But,
right.
No, it's not that potent, but it's potent enough that it's quite effective.
Yeah, but it's true. Some things are on the the banned substance list, and
some surprising things.
Right.
Yeah. So, anyways, if you're an athlete and you get drug tested, know what you're getting tested for and what herbs you're taking.
Yeah. Cool. All right. On that note, we'll leave it there.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you've enjoyed today's episode, be sure to give us a like, share this with someone you know who would benefit, and subscribe so you're up to date with all the new episodes coming out. You can shop online at lightseller.ca as well as visit us in the heart of Bowness in Calgary, Alberta.